But there are a few that are more important than others. Again, when we look at those things that influence during uncertainty, we could call out loving followers. That's demonstrated in the material, the evidence. There's also focusing on strengths. And there's also looking at being trustworthy and thinking strategically. Those are the four that really hone down around uncertainty. I'm going to dig into two of those today and really get into being trustworthy and strengths focus. What does this mean? What we know as uncertainty increases in the workplace, employees look to leaders that are trustworthy. And you gain trustworthiness by being consistent, exceptionally as exceptional as the uncertainty is, they need leaders that are exceptionally trustworthy. They need leaders that can show up consistently in the trenches. You know, those people that you know how they're going to behave. Think about a leader in your past that has that trustworthiness. I know as I was just preparing for today's talk and thinking about it, I immediately come to a leader that I had, and we led through some very difficult uncertainty within a hospital group. And with that, I remember thinking, I don't know what's going to happen, but I know that leader's going to show up for me no matter what. I know they were going to do that. That trustworthiness allows me to not focus on the uncertainty and the chaos, but to lean into the work that needs to be done and stay focused. As leaders have that trustworthiness in the workplace, people keep showing up and keep performing. But you don't gain that trustworthiness during these times of inflections by saying things like, I get concerned when I hear leaders try to allay fears by saying, oh, don't worry, you're never going to lose your job, or things are going to get better in 6 months, or, fill in the blank, right? They're trying to calm the fears, but they're making these predictions that they can't guarantee. It's out of their control. The economy is going to pick up next month. I'd like to see anyone control that, right? How do you know? And so, but leaders are trying to do that, but that's not how you build trustworthiness. So I want you to reflect on, what do you need to do to build trustworthiness? What is it at your level that you could show up consistently in the trenches for your team and build that? There's addition to that, there's credibility, there's reliability, and transparency that correlate to building trustworthiness. How credible you are. And as leaders, sometimes we come in and we lead organization executives that we haven't done the work that's being done. So how do we build trustworthiness when we haven't done it? How do we do that? You don't have to do every job, but how do you do that? How can you build it? You need to think about that. Reliability. Is your word reliable? Can people depend on you when you make a commitment? And then transparency. Am I being vulnerable with people in the workplace? Brene Brown has some great evidence out there around vulnerability and the importance of that. But we need to be honest with people. But that doesn't mean trying to say things, again, that we can't guarantee. We know these are levers that drive trustworthiness. And I would say no one of us is completely trustworthy and no one of us is completely untrustworthy, okay? But there's somewhere in that middle that you fall. And I know that leading during uncertainty is going to be better for your team and your organization when you're consistent and predictable and you show up that way. So it's important to focus on building trust now, today, with your teams. That'll have an impact on your ability to lead, okay? So this is just a quote from Stephen Covey. I always like to pull in different thought leaders as well. Without trust, we do not truly collaborate. We merely coordinate at best. We cooperate. It's the trust that transforms a group of people into a team. Another one I've heard is, trust is the currency at which business is done. As an organizational consultant, I can tell you it's my trustworthiness that determines whether or not I'm going to continue to have business or get repeat business. Trustworthiness, right?